Hello everyone, welcome to Yijing Way. I'm Dr. Tian. Today we will talk about what is yijing. In order to understand what is yijing, we need to understand the word yi first. Everything I teach today is from the lecture or the books from Grandmaster Gunyuan Chanshi. He is the founder of Weixing Shengjiao in Taiwan. Yijing is nature. Yijing is nature itself. So the wondrous law and the truths that originally exist within nature and the universe is yijing. So yijing is the path of change in nature. So here are two keywords. The first one is the past. Second one is the change. And the third one, change is true. Everything is changing. That is true. You and I, we can experience. So in this universe, beings and everything are constantly changing. In the previous video, I explained what is qi and what is zhenqi. I also explained the fengshui law is the circulation of air. Here we expand the concept of fengshui because in the future we will learn the law of fengshui. How can we know how fengshui, how the air flow, right? How the qi flow? That is from yijing. So yijing, as you notice, we have two words here. This is very important. I must use the Mandarin character here to explain the concept. The left hand side, this is called yi. On the right hand side, this is called jing. And we will explain these two characters one by one in the following slides. The first word is called yi. We can separate this word in two parts. The upper part is the sun. The lower part, you can see, that is moon. So this word, yi, has two parts. Upper part is sun. That means yang. That is positive, right? And the moon is yin. That is negative. It is not good or bad. It's just tell you. There are two different things. So first, yi, this word, represent two things. Yin and yang, the sun and the moon. Two things. Now we know yi represent the sun and the moon. And the ancient sages, they are so great. They start to expand this concept. So two things. We can also represent the day and the night, the morning and the evening, the light or the darkness. So the yi represents day and night. We can expand the concept, the yi, again. So the yi represents two things, two sides. One is sickness, one is health. So yi can also represent sickness and health. And yi can also represent unease and peace, sadness and happiness. Yi is sun and the moon. And we also can use yi to represent present and the future. Yi can also represent here and there. Yi can also represent not knowing and knowing. For example, maybe in some part of your life, you need to make the decision and you have no idea which one leads you to the destination you want. And knowing means you know that is the destination, that what you want. So yi represent not knowing and knowing as well. Yi can also represent things before change and things after change. Yi also represent we need to exchange our positions and perspectives. This is yi. Now we know yi is two-party. Maybe that is your starting point and your destination. One is day, one is night. And what is jing? Jing means the path. Passing through a process. Jing is a relationship of two parties. Jing is the connecting condition between the cause and the result. So the yijing has two parts. The first part is day and night, sun and moon. The second part is about the passing through a process. So what is yijing? Let's use the previous examples to represent what is yijing. Day and night. This is yi. The day turn into night. That process is the past, is jing. So yijing represent the process from day to night. Second, what is yijing? Yi is sickness and health. So what is yijing? Yijing is from the sickness to health. Yijing is the process from sickness to health. Include two parties and the past. This is yijing. What is yijing? Yijing is the process from unease to peace, from sad to happiness. So the process from one party to the other, that is yijing. Yijing is the process from present to the future. So one more time, yi means two parties, the sun and the moon, present and the future. Jing means the process. What is yijing? Yijing is the process from here to there. Yijing is the process from not knowing to knowing. Yijing is from things before change to the things after change. So yijing is the process from before change to after change. Now we know yijing. So let's go back. Why do we call yijing is the law of the universe? Why? Because this word yi, its pronunciation is similar to the Mandarin yi, one. So everything is from the one point to infinity. And everything from infinity go back to one. So yi is also one. So yi is from one, evolved into immeasurable, boundless infinity. And from the boundless infinity, return to one. So all phenomenon comes from one. And everything come back to one. So everything is come from one, right? So on the right hand side, you can see that is 八卦. On the left hand side, you see that is called 无极. These two words, 无极. The first word, 无 means no. Second one means limited. 无极 means there's nothing larger or there's nothing smaller than 无极. So you can think it's light, right? Nothing's larger than light. Nothing smaller than light. You can think this way. And that is the starting point of the universe. Then we have two parts. That is 太极, right? Everything is involved together, right? We have the good side and bad side, the sun, right? The light and the darkness, right? And you can see this 太极 means on the upper part is the light. Even in the brightest light, you have some darkness inside, just a little bit. And the lower part is the darkness. Even in the darkness moment, you have some light there. So everything mixed together, right? So it is 太极. Then we separate into two parts. It is called two forms. One is yang, one is yin. One is positive, one is negative. Again, positive and negative, you can think just like electricity. There's nothing good or bad. It's just tell you they're different. So it's separate. Separate from 太极, we have two parts. That is two forms. Then we turn into four images. We call it 四象. Then we expand one more time. That is called 8 trigrams. That is 八卦. Don't worry about that. We will introduce what is 八卦in the future, right? So 8 trigrams unfold into all things. We have 8 trigrams into hexagrams, into 384 lines into infinity. And we will introduce this one by one in the future. So what is Gua? This is the Gua. The first one is the heaven. The second one is the lake. The third one is the fire. The fourth one is thunder. Then we have the wind, the water, mountain, and the earth. So for our next video, I will explain what is Gua. See you soon.